Hey, enough of that crap. I worked on that for about uh, 10 minutes right before the show started, and it still needs a little bit of work, but it's like one of those big news openings, with the music. And then if I would have let it play, you would have heard teletypes and stuff. And then I would have said, "Hey, hi, SnarkAlec. I am Tony Solo, the boss SnarkAlec, and I'm here to bring you the snooze." And what is the snooze? It's SnarkAlec News. And joining me tonight is our very own co-anchor, Mr. Dylan Lange. Say hi, Dylan.
Hello. Hi, Dylan. How are you?
Okay,
That's
thanks.
bad, yeah.
I appreciate that. So, what I'm going to do here tonight is we're going to, at the end of the show, we're going to save it for the end. We're going to make an announcement, but basically what we're going to do here is the SnarkAlec News. Now, this was something that I kind of had in the works. However, everybody knows about the SnarkAlec website. And on the website, there's a place where you can um, give us compliments and suggestions about how we can bring the SnarkAlecs together and do some fun stuff together. But at the same time, there was a suggestion on the compliment box, and I'm going to let Dylan read that because it's kind of funny.
Alrighty, this one says, as the boss, could you do a short periodic G Plus hangout for us on the news? When are new sci-fi movies or shows coming out on Chiller or Sci-Fi Channel? Who is having a birthday? What do the shows you help create have coming up? Does Dylan have a clock yet? I have an internal clock and a brain clock, and that's all that matters to me right now. I don't care about other time. Time doesn't exist. Clocks exist.
Yes, so as far as the snooze goes, I was thinking about doing something like this, but wasn't thinking about going that far in depth. Because that would require me to do work. Like I'd have to send out emails to people and say, "Hey, what are you guys doing on your shows?" But basically, this is the first time out, so don't know what this is going to turn into. But as I was telling Dylan before the show started, maybe about 15 or 20 minutes, maybe once a month, maybe a little bit more if there's like some kind of a special event happening or something like that. So that's what the snooze is. It's just SnarkAlec News. So as you people may know, as the keeper of the birthday list, Laura Norman sent me a list of everybody's birthday. And I've got a little bit of a problem with it.
Oh boy.
As I was explaining to Dylan before we got started, I was like, "Oh, where's that email? Let me find that email." I asked Laura for it, so she sent me this whole list of everybody's birthday. The only problem with it is it's not sorted by month, so I have to go through the whole thing and look for people's. Well, I have to look for January, and unfortunately, we missed Christina, Golden Girl 1975's birthday, which was January 1st. So if you haven't wished her a happy birthday, wish her a belated happy birthday, as well as Sean, Mr. Crunchops, who, Laura, you have his name here as Mike, and I'm pretty sure Crunchy's name is Sean.
It should be Sean since he's on our Snark Fantasy Football League, and that's the name that I see under his name, so it should be Sean.
Yes. So I'm going to correct that on the spreadsheet that you sent me there, Laura. And, and I can't do that because it's the wrong keyboard. That's on that computer over there. Okay. So anyway, I'll correct that later. But, getting the first part of Barry's request out of the way, birthdays for January, as far as I know, and I can take another quick scroll. But January is Golden Girl Christina on the 1st, and the 6th was Sean, Mr. Crunchop's birthday. and I don't think we missed anything else there. Um, there were two other quick little suggestions by someone who shall remain nameless, Dawn. Um, she said she would love to see everyone again. Any chance of organizing a meetup in the spring, like near Philly? That's a possibility. Anybody who's interested, get in touch with me or Dawn. And if we get enough people together, maybe we can um, do something along those lines. And also from Dawn, ooh, we need a calendar. Everyone submits a picture for their birth month, and using the magic of Photoshop, create art. Or do a swimsuit one and sell to raise funds or for something. No, I'm not on any meds right now. Why do you ask? Okay, so I don't know about you, but nobody wants to see me in a bathing suit. I don't want to see me in a bathing suit. So let's just leave it at that. Ooh, and look at that. For some reason, I can change back and forth between color and black and white. It's amazing.
I should have shifted to black and white then. Be like, whoa, what's happening?
Oh no, freak me out. Dude, I didn't know your hair was that light. Um, so there was one other quick, well, there was a couple. There was a couple other ones, but okay. So from Holly, hey Hollis, how you doing? I hope you're enjoying watching Josh Gates. We'll talk about that in a minute or two. Um, but Holly made a couple of suggestions, and they were basically more kittens and wine. There was two of them that said exactly the same thing: more kittens and wine. So everybody out there, I believe we need more kittens and wine. And last but not least, one other suggestion from our um, our compliment department, because she is the head of the compliment department now. Someone needs to show Myrna how to use electronics. Thank you, Laura. I nominate Laura to teach, because if you can figure out how to use a BlackBerry and still use one, then you should be able to show Myrna how to use electronics.
She has more trouble than I do, it seems like.
Well, you know, the other thing is, she says, okay, what causes this? I don't know, because I don't mess with stuff. You know, I don't turn things on. I leave everything off. You know, I use basic stuff. I don't try and do anything crazy. You know, and then I'll get a message that says, my phone is really nosy, and I don't know what that means. But then she'll show me a screenshot that she's got a notification on her phone that says, I have started a hangout. Okay, well, if you subscribe to my channel, okay, and it's as simple as that. If you subscribe and then you turn on notifications for events, then you'll get a notification. So your phone is not being nosy. It's not ratting me out. Okay, you told your phone. So basically, you told your phone to stalk me, and you're stalking me. Okay? Right?
Oh, sorry. I can't help it. That's funny shit. Oh, Myrna.
I'm sorry, Myrna, but it's true, and it happens all the freaking time. Like you ask me these questions about stuff, and it's like, I don't know. Now, I have well, let's put it this way. I had a Galaxy 3. I think it fell out of my pocket today. I don't have a phone. Okay, I do have a phone that I have from my job, so I've been able to get by with that. But somewhere along the lines, I think I dropped the phone. Whenever I call it, it goes right into voicemail. So if I dropped it in the parking lot and someone ran it over, it's done. I'm kind of hoping the battery just died, and it's in a field office that I ran into an office today, a field office that we have, and I ran out. And I'm hoping it's there. And if it's not there, I'm screwed until I get a phone.
No.
But I've got a 3 and she's got a 5. And there's a marked difference between the phones and the look and feel and some of the things that phone has in its in its capabilities that I absolutely don't have. So And actually, I know someone who has one of those, and I really don't like the 5. I don't like what they did. Like, and like, it's like they made things. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's be.
Actually, what? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, but that's besides the point. When it comes to technology, I mean, I have my Galaxy, and I also have a Motorola-based Droid phone, and even though they're both Android phones, totally different the way they operate and stuff. The menus, I mean, a lot of the stuff is the same, but Motorola puts their spin on the Android, and Samsung has their spin on the Android, so they do customize it to a certain extent. So, but yeah, even from the Galaxy 3 to the 5, it's somewhat different. Like, I don't like what they. Okay, so here goes one example. My Motorola phone, it has a place where you can start. Like, you can't go any further to the left once you get to this one screen. And the Galaxy 5 does the same thing. Like, when you're scrolling back and forth between screens, you get to a certain point and it won't go any further. Now, on my phone, if I'm scrolling from screen to screen to screen, when I get to the end, if I scroll one more time, I start back at the beginning. So
Okay.
it's one of the things that I'm really used to on my phone. That on my work phone, I know it's there and it annoys me, and I see it on my wife's phone, and I'm like, that sucks. Because if I'm all the way over here, okay, and I want to go over there, I have to. But on my work phone, they do have a workaround. You push a button, and then it shows you all of the screens in small fashion. So you can go from one end to the other, or you can go directly to a screen without scrolling through. But I like to scroll through.
Okay. That's fair. Absolutely. Speaking of scrolling, I guess this is a bad segue. In the social media department, we got a tweet from Amy Figaro, who says a SnarkAlec meetup would be fun. We would talk about penises in person. Finally. Yay for Amy Figaro.
Okay, except she used a very bad hashtag. Not that it's very bad, but this is not SnarkAlec
Yeah,
Radio. This is snooze. But the way I spelt it is SN.EWS. So it's snooze. There's the SnarkAlec news type thing, but I put a period in there. So we're going to have to work on that hashtag, because this is not SnarkAlec Radio. This is snooze, which is totally different. It's snooze. But yeah. So what else did I? Okay, so speaking of Dylan, um, so I think before the show you mentioned that you had another screwy time, so you're not doing Dylan Knows Sunday?
I'm not doing Dylan Knows Sunday. Jerry, who's my co-host for Dylan Knows List, has a like a 90th or 85th birthday for her grandmother or something like that. So it's been set up and all that. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to go Saturday at 12:30 p.m. because I can't do any later because my Ravens are playing the playoffs against the Patriots at 4:30. So what we're doing is Saturday, 12:30 p.m. Dylan Knows List. We're going to be doing top 10 Saturday Night Live sketches / characters. So it's not necessarily going to be, all about the sketches or all about characters, because you can combine them a little bit. You could do like Wayne's World, or then, or Stuart Smalley is one of your favorites. So it'll just be our top 10 favorite sketches / characters. So it'll be a mix of our sketches and characters. So
that's interesting. And what? I don't know, Laura. What? Because in the last couple of days, I believe I tweeted out 2 of my favorites, and I hope both of these make your list. Robert De Niro, after 9/11, reading out the names of the terrorists that we should be looking for, like I sheet my drawers, and I'll tell you the truth, I watch it every couple of months, and it makes me crack up, because just watching De Niro's face, because it almost seems like he's looking at these things for the first time, and you could see that he is holding it back because he wants to go. That one, and I don't know if if you saw the one that I tweeted out yesterday with the Janet Jackson one,
No.
the cork soaker.
Oh yeah, Dawn played that one, and I heard. I was looking on my phone at something else, but I could overhear the cork, the Saturday Night Live cork thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I got Dawn Snarks is just hanging out over here in the corner.
She wants to. If she wants to sit down, if she's acceptable, she can sit down.
Don't have another headphone though, headset just yet. So you want to wave real quick, say hi to everybody, or just to Tony?
Or just to Tony? No, nobody else is watching. Hi, Dawn.
How are you?
All right, how you doing?
How you doing?
Okay, well, it looks like she doesn't have penis, so.
You don't have penis, so.
No, unfortunately.
Thanks, Dawn. Dawn makes a cameo. Yay! First cameo on the snooze.
The snooze rules.
It does. So, yeah, right before we started, and I tweeted out links at around 8 o'clock ish. I found out from Holly that Josh Gates is up to his old tricks, and he's doing a show called Expedition Unknown. And Dawn was like, "Boss, you're up against Josh Gates," and I was like, "Okay, well, he's going to get one less viewer." And I didn't mean for Holly to not watch Josh Gates. Just meant that I wasn't going to be watching. So, but she said, "Oh no, I'm going to have you on the TV and him on the iPad." But I mean, Expedition Unknown, and what was his other show, Dylan?
Destination Truth.
Okay, so it sounds like the same thing, maybe a different network.
Well, yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. It's the exact same thing. But what happened was Sci-Fi said, you know what, we're not going to do this anymore. Nice knowing you, nice working with you. We're going to move on to something else. And so Josh still wanted to keep doing it, I guess. And so he shopped it around a little bit, maybe changed it up a little bit. I don't know because I haven't watched it, but he might change it a little bit and said, hey, anybody else interested in this? And Travel Channel said, yeah, we'll try it out because they're the ones who do Ghost Adventures with Zach Bagans, who still has me blocked on Twitter for some reason. I don't know why, but that's a whole different story.
Man,
But
I don't understand. I don't understand blocking a fan unless I don't know.
I think what happened was, and I still think is what it was, and I thought it was funny. This was a while back. Someone else I follow made a joke about him being, if he was in Lord of the Rings, he'd be douchebaggins. And I retweeted that. I thought that was funny. And I guess maybe he took offense to that. That's the only reason why I could think he might have blocked me.
So basically, you proved your point, though. He is a douchebag. I mean, that's the only way you can look at it, because, I mean, I don't understand.
I don't know.
I don't. You want to know something? The only thing that proves to me is that, okay, let's say I was somebody like Tom Cruise. Okay, I'm never going to be Tom Cruise, never going to get there. But if somebody would have tweeted that to him, okay, chances are he's kind of like Justin Bieber. Okay, he can go on his Twitter and at any given second, 300 different girls are saying, "I love you, Justin." Okay, so if one girl out of 500,000 would have tweeted at him that he was a douchebag, do you think he's going to see it? No, because of all the traffic he's got coming in, chances are, I mean, maybe he looks at his Twitter like once or twice a day. I mean, I don't know how active the guy is, and I'm not putting him down. I'm just using him as an example. Someone who's really famous and gets a lot of tweets, a tweet like that will just go right by. Okay, then you got douchebagging over here who, probably only gets tweeted when his show is on, and even then he's getting 30 or 40 tweets during the show, or it could possibly be more. So he's got the time to scroll through and read them. So he sees one, oh, this guy's going to call me a douchebag, or retweet a douchebag. Oh, okay, blocked. Okay, so now what happens the next week? Instead of getting 40 tweets, he only gets 35. Why? Because you were good for 5 tweets a show. And now he's got 35 tweets. And then he wants to win. Why am I going down in follower? Or, well, he lost a follower, but he's losing action. He's losing activity. You know,
Yeah.
and apparently, some people say social media affects TV shows. And sometimes if there's a lot of activity on a show, but it doesn't have great ratings, it helps. I mean, hey, listen, if nobody's watching the show and you're only getting, 40 tweets during the show or 50 tweets, you know, either the people that are watching don't tweet or nobody's watching,
Exactly.
you know. So there's a whole bunch of different ways of watching that. So I didn't mean to put down Josh Gates, but I was never a big fan of I'm sorry to say, Josh. I liked Erin Ryder. She was cool. Um, I liked the other show though, the Wanagi show. I want them to bring that back. Um,
Yeah, that was is that the one
Haunted
with
Highway.
yeah, Haunted Highway, yeah, the one with Ozzy's son, yeah.
Ozzy's son
And the people from Factor Faked, which was Devin, I think, was it Devin?
Devin and what's her name? Wanagi chick.
Yeah,
Um,
Wanagi.
but okay, so Devin was with Wanagi chick, and who was with Ozzy's kid?
Oh man, you know what? It's been so bad I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen it.
It came back. It came back for like another short, like 6 episode run. But I know, like one of the things that happened was he got sick.
Yeah.
And he was in negotiations with. So I think like Ozzy's got like some kind of big beef with NBC now because NBC owns Discovery, and I like that show. That show, and if we're going to talk about paranormal stuff for a second, Haunted Collector was out of all of the haunted shows, I liked that show a lot. I liked the group that they had, but I liked that there was a history. There was always a history to everything that they did. So, and not to take away any of the stuff from anybody else, but I mean, you know, I just liked that crew.
No, I mean it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I haven't watched like and hardly any of these in a while. Like Ghost Adventures, I still watched even though he blocked me just because I was interested. But then it just was getting to be the same old thing over and over again. And then Ghost Hunters, when Dawn and I first saw it back in like the 2006 time, stuff like that, it was fresh and new. And then it's the same old stuff again also. So I was like, okay, so I haven't been watching that either. But yeah, but the Haunted Highway was something slightly different. You had a little bit of ghosts in there, had a little bit of cryptid in there, a little bit of other stuff going on, and a different way of doing it. And then Haunted Collector was also, I love that show too because you had the history behind it, and it was objects and it wasn't really people you were looking for. They did more research on what the object was and why this like specific iron would be in this location or whatever. It's like, well, it's because there was iron ore back in the 1800s was ored by this,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, interesting stuff like that. So, and then Destiny Truth, I liked Destiny Truth only because, I liked Josh was just, they were having fun. I mean, it was basically the same thing as Ghost Hunters, except they were hunting cryptids. But the beginning, it became a formula where they would find out where they're going, and then it would be, traveling to a foreign place, and then they'd have all this culture shock of, oh, look, Americans, and we're in, a foreign country, and but what's cool is that they went to try to experience some of the culture, and that was kind of fun too. And Josh has a little bit of a sly comedic edge to him, but more or less, after you got past that, it became like Ghost Hunters, where they were just walking around at night and looking for things and hearing things and stuff like that. So.
Well, yeah, and it's exactly the same as and I watched it on Sunday, Finding Bigfoot. Okay, they have their set formula too. They're only going after Bigfoot, but this time they went to the UK, and it was a 2-hour special, and I can usually watch that show and only take it in small doses because it just pisses me off. Um, um, because I mean they'll take the littlest thing and they'll make a leap from there, and it's like, oh, my big question is, if I was ever to ask Bobo, well, Squatches love this. Okay, well, how do you know? Have you asked a Squatch what they like? You know, if we had a Squatch in captivity, we could figure out what they like to eat because we could give them a whole bunch of stuff and, oh, but Squatches love this and Squatches love that. And get the hell out of here. But when they were in the UK, they were up near Loch Ness. So what did they do? They get on a boat and they got this guy on the boat, this tour guide, and he had a beard that was probably down to his knees. He was hysterical, and he was wearing um, a shirt, a tie, and a jacket. And it's probably, he knew he was going to be on TV, so he got all dressed up for the occasion. you know, and it's just, there's a lot of stuff out there that we haven't found yet. A Bigfoot is just way too big for us not to have found yet. I mean, I know every day they're discovering thousands of new species of insects in the Amazon, okay? And I can understand how that could happen. I can't understand how we haven't found a freaking Bigfoot yet. Not when everybody in this country just about is walking around with a video camera in their hand every day, why we haven't found UFOs or seen more UFOs and really good video, because everybody in this country is walking around with a video camera. You name it, anything that could have been proven with video, where we have a video from, 1972 of some guy in a monkey suit walking through the forest, and that's the primal Bigfoot video that we're going for, and we haven't been able to get anything better in 50 or 60 years. Come on, give me a break.
That's true. That's true. That's fair.
No, but not to take it away, because I'm not going to say it's not possible, because there are definitely some places in this country and in Canada, like up in the mountains, there are some areas that the terrain is just inaccessible to man. You can't get in there with equipment. You can't get in there with any of our modern technology, and it's hard for you to get in there, at all. So, yeah, is there a possibility that there's stuff living in these places? Oh, yeah, sure.
It would probably be better, maybe not America so much, but like with the abominable snowman out in the Himalayas, because that one is, as you said, is more of a treacherous, dangerous area, and they apparently live up in the mountains and only have a few sightings of them because only so many people can actually climb Everest, and that and the mountain range itself is fairly massive as well, not just Everest. And the weather is unpredictable. It seems like it snows all the time. There's avalanches, stuff like that. So somehow they're surviving, supposedly. So, I mean, if there's any way that there might be some sort of ape creature out there, the better bet would probably be to aim more for the Himalayas, probably for the abominable snowman, than maybe, say, a Bigfoot out in California or whatever, because not only, I mean, we do have lots of forests, yes, we do, but we are also encroaching a lot more also. There's more and more forests are disappearing, and, eventually, there might not be any forests left. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, no, that was going to be my next point, because, I mean, hey, at least once a day, and this is no joke, at least once a day, I've got deer on my front lawn, okay? I got wild turkeys walking around here. I see them at least once a week, and we're basically encroaching on their land. And in the past, I'd never see deer on my front lawn. Now they're out there every day because they are comfortable living near man and living near lights and stuff like that. One of the things that they were talking about a couple of months ago was more bear sightings in New Jersey, and only because what bears have learned is that where there is light and noise, there is food, and they go through people's garbage cans. And it's exactly like you said. We are building closer and closer to wilderness. We're encroaching on the forests and stuff. So we're taking their habitat away, and they're coming into our habitat, and there's more interactions, and you're seeing them more. I would expect something along those lines to happen with some of these cryptids, and we're not really seeing it. So, you know, um, who knows? But that's not what this is about. This is the snooze. So, um, we're getting ready to wrap this up. Wow, we already took a half an hour, and I didn't think this was going to be that long. But we're just bullshitting here, so who gives a crap? So this is going to, after okay, so after more research, Laura says it's Shawn Michael. Thank you. You're welcome, Laura. Thank you for all the work that you do. Uh, well, snooze me, guys. I didn't hear the proper hashtag because we. Okay, thank you, Amy. I'm not going to read your tweet now because I saw your last hashtag, and I'm not going to read the one that says Tony's phone is really a penis. I refuse to wear that. Okay, to read that. I'm not going to read it. Okay. So what this is going to be is probably just goofing around once a month. We'll go through the birthdays, anything of note that's happening on Sci-Fi and Chiller, definitely. Anything that's happening in the sci-fi community that we want to talk about, we will do. And I'm also going to, have people volunteer to come in and sit down with me and Dylan, or anybody else who might be in here. If you want to sit in and hang out and do the snooze with us, everybody's welcome. You have to ask to do the snooze. The only thing I ask is that you have a proper microphone and a headset, because if you're using the built-in mic on your computer and you move too far away, we can't hear you. So that's why these headsets work great, because I can move my head around and do this, and Dylan can do that, and the mic does. So, and we can hear each other great. So right now I only plan on doing this like once a month or so, as needed. Don't know if it's always going to be on Thursdays because, I just picked Thursday because it's Thursday at 9 o'clock. Feels like I should be doing something, but, it is what it is. But the big announcement, at the end, the last SnarkAlec radio show, and those people that watched it live, you got to see the end. Well, there's a story about that. If you go on YouTube now and you watch it, you do not get the doors anymore in that video because it got flagged by YouTube for copyrighted content. And I used about 30 seconds of the end at the beginning of the show, and then I used a little bigger piece at the end. But the funny thing is, and don't tell anybody, in the background you hear some music playing the whole time. It's Rapper's Delight. Okay? And I worked on that I put a little bit of time into that. I wanted to put more time into it to make it sound a little bit better, but they flagged the video, so I took the video down, and then YouTube was able to automatically cleanse the offending material for me, and then I was able to put it back up. So if you go to the last SnarkAlec radio episode, you do not get the entire intro. There's silence at the beginning. There's video, but there's no sound for the first 30 seconds. So don't let that throw you off. And I just left it that way. I was gonna fill it with some other sound, but I figured, nah, it's not the same. But on that show, mentioned that sometime at the beginning of the year, in January, I was going to do a zombie hangout. So that has been scheduled for 2 weeks from tonight, which is the 22nd. And I'm calling it ZombieCon. So for those people that know about it already, ZombieCon is definitely going to be happening. And I'm going to ask Dylan. Dylan, do you know who's going to be on that show?
I don't know. I only know that I'm going to be on it, and you're going to be on it, and possibly Don Snarks is going to be on it. I don't know anybody else is going to be on it.
Okay, so if you were going to guess, if you were going to take any guess to any other people that you might think that might be on it, who would you?
Let me see. I think we might get maybe a Mel appearance, possibly.
That's possible.
Yeah. Possibly your old compatriots Kelly and Mike. They might possibly be on there too.
They are 100% on board there. Um, I'm gonna send Mel an email because Mel's tricky with her time. She's got stuff that she's got to do. So, but continue. So you got two, and you knew about Dawn. So
Yeah.
because she's your wife.
Maybe the McGivness, possibly.
Not yet.
Not yet. I feel like I'm missing a whole bunch of people, but
I'll give you two more names, and that's all that's confirmed.
okay.
So the lineup will be uh, Mr. Kelly Toole, Mr. Mike, official pagan, Amy, going to be
Ah,
joining us, and the one and only head of the compliment department herself,
yay!
Ms. Blackberry. Laura Norman is confirmed. So
Fantastic.
those are the people that are confirmed. Plus, after Betty by time, Dawn might sit down side by side with you, and you might get all close and share a headphone and stuff for a little bit.
Or maybe I'll just buy a new one because we actually have another. We've like three of these USB hookups, and if I can get another one of these USB thingamajaggers,
Yeah, the
okay.
only problem with that is that
It
unless you
would be
go into
bad.
some kind of a mixer, no,
Oh,
Google
okay.
only lets you use one at a time. They don't let you.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, I
Yeah,
guess we'll have
so
to be close like we were that one time when we did the was it Plan 9 from Outer Space on
yeah.
that one night. So
Yeah, so anyway, so basically what it's going to be is we're going to, in general, talk about zombies, but we never really got into The Walking Dead the way we wanted to. We never wrapped up the season. So it's going to be heavily Walking Dead, but anybody who's interested in joining us, and I mean being in the Hangout, the most we can have in here is 10. So if anybody else wants to get in, like I said, the only thing you need is you really do need a headset so we can hear you. But what I'm thinking about doing, if enough people want to join, I'm thinking of doing something where I'll have some people come in and then I'll boot them out and then have more people join later. So almost have like a revolving door, and we'll see how long it could last. Um, that might be interesting, but right now. The limit is 10 at a time, and 5 of the initial spots are taken. But if we get to about 10 o'clock and say somebody has to leave, like you have to leave or Kelly has to leave, that would open up a spot for someone else. So we could get someone else in there. And if someone who's in one of the other 5 spots is done, or we're tired of them, or they're not contributing, I can give them the old heave ho and we can get somebody else in here. So um, that's about it. So before we go, let's do plugs, which should be Dylan knows. There's another thing that you do. Is there anything happening with that? Because I can't officially ask you about that because I'm not allowed to, because I am involved with some other people and they would say that hey, you're breaking the rules. You're not supposed to talk to certain people about certain things, if you know what I mean.
yeah, I think I'm gonna I think Sunday, since Sunday's pretty much cleared up now with no Dylan knows and no football with my team. I mean, there is football, but I'll have some time in there. I might be able to have some time to work on that project that shall not be named.
The extracurricular activities that you have.
Exactly. And
Okay.
I took a closer look at the schedule. I do have a not a but pretty much an end date that I'm aiming for. So an actual end date would probably be somewhere around the July 20th time. Would be the last episode of this project. So that's all I'm going to say
Wow.
about that.
Okay, that's cool. So, bring out your geek. They're talking Walking Dead right now. Um, and that's Jeans, and I think Kelly's over there, and Bronwyn. Great people. Check that out. Kelly's also doing nurture and support with Mel. Check out Mike's Loud and Loaded channel, please. There's still a lot of SnarkAlec stuff, and there's still a lot of SnarkAlec people doing things over on that channel. I believe Nurture and Support is going to be over there um, for a little bit. So check that stuff out. Um, am I missing anything? Bum, 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 bum.
And just real quick, and not to my own horn, but Dylan knows once again, if you missed the beginning of the show, we'll be on Saturday, 12:30 this weekend due to other events going on Sunday for Jerry. So, and we'll be Jerry and I, and we'll be doing the top 10 best Saturday Night Live sketches / characters. So that should be fun.
Okay, and if you are looking to communicate with me or us or anyone, there is a link on the SnarkAlec website. Just Google SnarkAlec, you'll find it. There is something called the SnarkAlec Improvement Department, which is officially what the complaint department has been renamed to, and you can submit a suggestion or a complaint, or you can spout off if you've got anything on your mind. So go to that page and scroll down and check it out. If there's anything you want to see us do on the snooze, anything that you want to, you may not want to be on the snooze, but you want to say, hey, this is a snooze-worthy item, then submit the snooze. So again, we'll see you in a couple of weeks for ZombieCon, which will be at 9 o'clock Eastern. That's Eastern time, which is 8 o'clock Central. And, you know, but, you know, we have that all figured out at this point. Yes. So that's ZombieCon. We'll probably do this sometime in February, maybe the first week, maybe the second week. Who knows? Maybe before, maybe not. I don't know. You know, will it be on a Thursday all the time? Don't know. It seems to be a good night. It just, and it's really funny because one of the last conversations I had with Kelly was, which really pissed me off, is like, okay, we decide to end SnarkAlec Radio, which was going up against Defiance and Dominion and some of the other shows that we liked on Thursday, okay, and now they've moved wrestling to Thursday when we decided that we were going to stop doing SnarkAlec Radio. Like, after all the shuffling and shit that we went through, it's like, thank you very much, Sci-Fi.
They don't like us very much, apparently.
Yeah, they waited. They waited. But you see, now this went 45 minutes, and but again, it was just an intro, so let people know what was going on. And we did talk a little bit about paranormal crap, just because you know, I want to get better ratings than Josh Gates. I'm not going to do it, but hey, guess what? The longer I keep Dylan on, that's another less viewer for Josh Gates. I win. All right, good night, people.
Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
Dylan. Thank you for joining me.
No problem. The snooze.
The snooze. See you guys in a couple of weeks.